And a happy, Thursday. Yeah, I lost a day this week. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is the third day of September 2020. Happy year of the mask. Happy year of the hand sanitizer. Is it a happy year? We'll try to make it as happy as possible coming up this morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll be sitting in today. Grant will be in tomorrow. Then we'll kind of rotate things next week as Dan finally takes some time off. We've been trying with a shoehorn to get him out of here to take some time, and so finally he's doing it. Now, he's only about 150 feet away in front of his house right now, so you can just wave at him as you drive by. Coming up on the show this morning, we have, of course, your latest local news. We'll check the weather forecast. It's going to be hot. September, yeah, and yet we're still really, really hot this weekend. Good news is that no red flag warning. It seems that when we've approached that triple-digit mark, we've had some problems with that, but at least not in the forecast right now anyway. I'll have your latest local sports. We'll have the obscure holiday of the day. Of course, this day in history, celebrity birthdays, Mike Magnotti with his opinion, whether you like it or not. Everybody's entitled to it. It's all coming up this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's start things off, though, with a look around the valley and around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Yeah, it looks like it's fake. That looks like a postcard. Is that real? Megan, is that really real? That's our view from the cross camera this morning. Look at that. Holy cow, that looks like a Jan Cook Mac painting. That's amazing. Thanks to SkyFi and the SkyFi Wireless Network for providing our views around the valley this morning. Hello, Wenatchee. Hello, East Wenatchee. Hello, Sunny Slope. How are you for a Thursday? All right, camera 2, where are we going to now? See, I haven't done this in so long. We're looking down on beautiful Lake Chelan, and Wapato Point is what you see kind of center of your frame there. Manson area in the center of the frame as well. Beautiful morning on Lake Chelan. Looks like a little ripple to the water. That means a little bit of wind blowing, but not much in our forecast today. Hello, Chelan, and good morning, Manson. Where else are we going this morning, Megan? Thanks to LocalTel SkyFi Wireless Network. See now, is this Natapoc? Oh, okay, Blag Mountain. Oh, there we go. Looking off to the west, I assume, with a little bit of snow still clinging to the higher elevations of Washington, but just the brush strokes this morning of color thanks to our rising sun. All right, camera 4, where are we going to here? This will be a look from up above Stamilt, right? That's our jump-off camera, I think, and looking down at the Wenatchee Valley from a little different perspective. In fact, if you turn that camera around and go straight up, I will be a week from Saturday up past that camera quite a ways with my father and my brother-in-law. Will be hunting elk archery-wise. So that'll be kind of fun for us. And actually, there's where that camera is, there occasionally are elk that'll be around that camera. There's plenty of deer that's around that camera. There might be even some turkey around that camera up on Jump Off. Thanks to SkyFi Wireless Network for providing us our gorgeous view of north central Washington here this morning. And if you like the sun, you like the blue skies, you're going to like our forecast. Let's take a look at that now from the National Weather Service. As mentioned, hot. 97 today, 101 tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Overnight tonight's looking for a low of 63. It was a very pleasant morning this morning as I got up early, long before sunrise. By the way, sun rose this morning at 6:23. It'll set tonight at 7:36. Our high yesterday, 88, but jumping all the way to 97 today. The low is 69. Our record high for today, we might tickle that. 98 was the record high in 1988. Normally, we're at 81. So, yeah, quite a bit hotter than normal, that's for sure. Normal low, let's see. First, the record low was set in 1980 of 46 chilly degrees on this date. Normally, we're about 56 for the overnight low. So you can see, yeah, quite a bit difference between daytime highs and nighttime lows from what we normally should be to what we'll expect. Friday, 101 for the high, 99 on Saturday, 97 Sunday, and then finally cooling down first part of next week. But not much, gang. We're still going to be way hotter than what we normally are. And look at that swing in temperatures, 31 degrees between the daytime high and the nighttime low. as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Sun will set tonight at 7:36, by the way. Let's see, tomorrow we're going to lose a minute on the front end and 2 minutes on the back end of daylight officially. 3 minutes losing as we get past summer solstice back in June and slide right into autumn and fall. That's your forecast from the National Weather Service. And let's see, what else do we have going on here? It's been so long since I was trying to think of this. Megan, when was the last time I filled in for Dan? I can't even remember. It's been so long. Yeah, I think it was February, right around there. Yeah, you're right, as a matter of fact. So it's been quite a while. It was before COVID, before we had to do this. Don't you just love it? You know, I think it is the year of the mask. It is the year of the hand sanitizer. It's also the year of walking into wherever you might be going and going, because you forgot your mask and you got to go back to the car to get it. I will come back after a quick break and have your latest local news. It's coming up next on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this third day of September 2020. Stay there. I'll be right back.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here. Having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
7 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Currently 61 and blue skies, sunshine here in the Wenatchee area. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kutz with a look at our latest local news this morning. A motorist from Cooley Dam wrecked his truck and allegedly spilled a loaded sawed-off shotgun from the vehicle. Douglas County deputies say 32-year-old Cody Jack Drywater was under the influence when his truck rolled last May on Pendle Road. They say they found the sawed-off shotgun in the grass near the overturned truck. Such modified firearms are illegal. Douglas County prosecutors charged Drywater by summons on Tuesday with illegal weapons possession and DUI. A Chelan resident who pleaded guilty to his third sex offense against children in 30 years was sentenced this week to more than 26 years in prison. Timothy Wade Cook, who's 56, pleaded guilty in July to molesting 3 youths in 2002 and 2017. He also pleaded to a charge of promoting commercial sexual abuse of a minor. Cook was previously convicted of first-degree child molestation back in 1992. Judge Leslie Allen sentenced Cook on Monday to 318 months in prison. It's the highest end of the standard sentencing range for those crimes. Well, hunters and others headed out to the forest off of Blewett Pass are being asked to report anything they see that might help in the search of the body of Ian Eccles, who was murdered last May in the Mineral Springs area. The 41-year-old Kent man is believed to have been killed by Jorge Alcantara Gonzalez, who was the subject of an extensive manhunt in the area before being arrested June 14th. The Ticketataz County Sheriff's Office is asking forest users to report abandoned tents, campsites, firearms, mountain bikes, fishing gear, or anything else that looks out of place. Well, the Rock Island man accused of shooting and killing his wife 2 years ago says the court should appoint him a new attorney for the 5th time. 70-year-old Uli Tulilo allegedly murdered Peggy Tulilo in their Rock Island home in 2018. He's been jailed ever since, awaiting trial in Douglas County, and his trial has been delayed in part by frequent disputes between or with his court-appointed lawyers. In letters to Judge Brian Huber, Tulilo also says he can no longer communicate with his current attorney, who's the 4th person assigned to his defense. The defendant wants to be tried by a judge alone without a jury. No new hearings in the case are scheduled until October. Well, Chelan County launched an emergency COVID-19 food distribution program Tuesday that will provide food staples to homes where people have been isolated or quarantined. The program will be run by Serve Wenatchee Valley. Now, to be eligible, recipients must have a stay-home directive from a medical professional. The federally funded program will pay for food for 400 Chelan County families of 4 until January. Beyond Creations, the Town Toyota Center's catering service will put together food boxes containing flour, rice, beans, bread, tortillas, pasta, and more. They'll also prepare care kits with items such as gloves, hand sanitizer, and soap. Well, a section of Wenatchee Heights Road will be closed for 2 weeks as the county continues a road improvement project. Beginning yesterday, Wenatchee Heights Road was closed from milepost 1.1 to milepost 1.77 as a contractor builds a retaining wall that will allow the road to be widened at a hairpin corner. Traffic will be detoured onto Wheeler Road. The detour will also be in place on weekends and on evenings. Now, speaking of traffic, it is traditional, the State Department of Transportation urging Washingtonians to allow extra drive time for their Labor Day travels. Agency says the best approach is to check its online traffic volume charts to help you determine the best time to travel on key routes. Traffic to popular outdoor areas has been heavy this summer due to the pandemic. The DOT says staying close to home and limiting non-essential travel will help reduce travel stress as well as slow the spread of COVID-19. Well, an underpass for wildlife to navigate a busy Okanagan Valley Highway is already having an impact. Conservation Northwest, the nonprofit agency heading up the renovation of the Janus Bridge on Highway 97 between Omak and Tonasket, says it's finished the first phase of the Safe Passage 97 project, and animals have already started using the route. The initial work cost about $260,000 in private donations. The group is asking the state of Washington to fund phase 2 and 3 that would help animal-proof about 9 miles of road at an estimated cost of $17 million. How about that? Well, back in May, as the COVID-19 quarantine set in, Jessica Johnson from SAGE started to see a rise in new domestic violence cases. SAGE is the Wenatchee Valley's main resource for victims of domestic and sexual violence. On Wednesday's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program, Johnson told NCW Live's Dan Kuntz that the nature of cases referred to her agency appears to be changing for the worse.
Unfortunately, that's still true. I think one of the things that I wasn't really thinking about when we first talked in May, because it was still sort of new. I mean, we were hoping that by this point in time that it would be done, but it's not. Is that what we see as far as physical violence seems to be more. So we are getting more calls to the hospital. People are coming in more beat up, if that's even a correct term, but the violence is increasing. So, and I mean, I don't condone violence at all, but if you're with somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that person is a perpetrator, it's going to happen, unfortunately. So, yes, we are seeing that. So we're doing a lot of POs, protection orders or restraining orders, and helping people get those signed, and then still supporting people at court too.
You talk about physicians and nurses in the emergency room. They have trained to look for certain signs when somebody comes into the emergency room. I broke my arm, or I accidentally burned my hand, or something like that. And they know some of the things to look at, right? That, hey, their story that they're telling me doesn't really match up with what I'm seeing.
Right. They are good at asking if people feel safe at home. One thing that I would encourage all of our health providers to do is that when you ask that question, make sure that you have the person with the injury alone and not with their significant other. Because likely if their significant other is in the room and that person is the perpetrator, they're not going to say anything, because if they do, it's only going to be worse once they go home. So that's why, that's a teachable moment. I also encourage people, friends, if they are suspicious or concerned, you want to make sure that that person that could be the perpetrator, and it could be a woman that's the perpetrator of violence. I mean, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what socioeconomic status either. It can be, somebody who is rich or somebody who's middle class. It doesn't discriminate.
In these days of isolation, is one of the things maybe you should look at is if you had a friend or you have a friend who you think may be susceptible to this, or you're a little concerned about their home situation, but you haven't really talked to them in such a long time because of the thing. Is that something that should be on somebody's radar?
I would say yes. I mean, it's always nice to hear from a friend, even if there's nothing wrong. So, making that call or reaching out over social media or anything like that is a good thing. And also, it shows that you are supporting them if they need that. I would also tell people just to be very kind and caring and not judgmental. Not that people would mean to be, but some of the questions that sometimes we get asked is, why do people stay? Well, they might not have any place else to go, which sounds silly, but really in this time of pandemic, they really don't have any place to go. I mean, our shelter is, we're not accepting people from out of the area because of COVID. So that's one of the things that is different for us too. So yeah, but just to talk to them and maybe, reach out over social media or phone, however you do that, but just let them talk. They'll bring it up when they're comfortable and when it's safe for them to do it.
SAGE is a great organization doing wonderful work here in the Wenatchee Valley. They're also a recipient of our Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, which will be going on again this year, by the way. We'll have more on that in the coming months. It is 16 minutes past the hour here for this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 3rd of September. Of course, more local news coming up tonight with Grant Olson, who has a preview.
Good morning, Eric. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, COVID-19 positive test numbers continue to decline in our area. We'll have the latest numbers for you. I'll have your possibly record-setting North Central Washington weather forecast. And you, Eric, you'll be here with all the latest from Seahawk Training Camp. That and all the day's headlines coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Eric?
Thank you much, Grant. Yes, I will have some of that tonight. We'll have some of that a little bit later on as well in sports news, which is coming up in just a few moments. Of course, if you see news happening, if you know of some story that we haven't covered that we should, and there's several ways to reach out to us, you can email us directly at news@ncwlife.com. You can also find us on the website, and how to contact us there at ncwlife.com. Also message us directly through our Facebook page. We hope you like and follow us while you're there too. Or you can dial direct to our news hotline at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and said sports. Coming up next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Thursday. I'll be right back.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
19 minutes past the hour here for a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sunny and hot today. 97 our high. We're at 61 here in downtown Wenatchee as we take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Well, today is the day student athletes of Washington will rally at the state capitol to demand fall sports be played this fall. A petition campaign has gathered close to 27,000 signatures of supporters who want the WIAA to reconsider its decision to push fall sports to the spring out of concern for the coronavirus. They rallied today at 4 o'clock on the Capitol steps. Will feature Cole Nora, a senior football player at Mount Sinai High School in Snoqualmie, who felt student athletes weren't being heard. Besides the desire to play football, soccer, and volleyball this fall, the student athletes point to youth depression, increased stress on single-parent households, and the inability to obtain college scholarships as reasons to proceed with sports in September. Well, another group of athletes that are hoping to play this fall include the Wenatchee Wild hockey team. As part of the BCHL, Wenatchee had its season end just in time for the playoffs last March. And, well, it's been halted ever since. And they're trying to get things going here this year, but that's been delayed until December because of coronavirus. The pandemic has also prevented the Town Toyota Center from being able to be open, which has meant no ice since March and none in the foreseeable future. That makes it difficult for Wenatchee Wild General Manager Bliss Littler because he has 25 players invited to come here in October to prepare for their upcoming season. Now, that's not to mention the two other programs that operated by the Wenatchee Wild. Littler says that with other states being open, the players who committed to come to Wenatchee are being deluged with calls to opt out and go elsewhere.
Well, it's tough because those kids are getting calls every day from teams in other leagues that are telling them that Wenatchee's not going to open up, that the border's never going to open, and it's all doom and gloom. And you know, it's tough. It's tough. We're making sure that we're talking to our kids enough, and you have Zoom calls with them, and just giving them the facts that we have. And with that, I think what's been done here the past 12 years, I really think that reputation, it's out there that this is a very good place to play junior hockey. It's one of the special places. You know, it's just a lot of great people here in Wenatchee, that it's a great place to play. And so I think that's really helping us right now, that all the work that the kids in prior years have done to make this a great place to play is definitely helping us right now, keeping kids interested in making sure that they're gonna wait and not jump at another offer.
Now, Littler says he's not blaming the Town Toyota Center or its manager, Mark Miller, on there being no ice. He says it's the governor and Washington's Safe Start plan that's preventing them from being able to move forward.
Oh, 100%. Like, Mark, if he could have ice in the building, he would have had it in the building 4 months ago. That's one of the things that pays the bills is ice usage. Whether it's figure skating or hockey. And, again, we're not talking about events that have spectators right now. We're just talking about the very minimal, to help the building out where, they want to pay their bills too.
Littler says they hope to get Chelan County to the next phase in that Safe Start plan so that they can get ice down in time for training camp, which starts October 10th at the Town Toyota Center. In the meantime, he says the organization is moving forward with plans for its third annual golf tournament to raise money for Seattle's Children's Hospital.
Well, anyone that's interested, we're playing at Desert Canyon. So a beautiful golf course, nice and challenging. If you have a team, a 4-person team, call the office. If you want to play as a single, and we'll put you in a group. We do that with a lot of people. Yeah, just call the office and ask for David or Gretchen, and they'll get you hooked up for it. But it's something we're looking forward to.
As a matter of fact, we're trying to put a team together here from the NCW Life Channel to participate in that tournament, so we hope to see you there on Friday, October 2nd. If you'd like to sign up as an individual or as a team, call the Wild office. The number is 888-7825. That's 888-7825. You can also go online and register on their website at WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Well, as the Seahawks continued to prepare for their first game of the season in Atlanta in just 10 days, several questions remain on personnel. Will Chris Carson be able to start at running back? Will the offensive line be better than last year? And who's going to start? Will the defense be able to get pressure on the quarterback? What will CenturyLink Field sound like without fans? Defensive tackle Jaron Reed says he hopes the stadium folks turn up the volume high when the Hawks play at home.
For me, I would actually like it to be kind of loud, just to get that feeling back. I don't want it to be too quiet, because then I think it's going to be awkward. So, I think we'll make it as loud as, as we can get it without being just annoying loud. But, nothing's going to compare to the 12s, especially playing in CenturyLink. It actually gives you another like boost of energy. It sends chills through your body. I'm curious to see how it's going to be. I think, personally, from my opinion, it probably just feel like practice, with some noise. But, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and play.
The Seahawks ranked towards the bottom of the NFL in quarterback pressure and sacks a season ago. Reed says they are definitely going to be better this season.
First of all, I think we're very hungry, to come back and, get to where we were in 2018. Pass rush is key because, you get more pressure on the quarterback. You can kind of rattle them a little bit, help out the back end guys that's doing their job. So, we put a lot of emphasis on it this year, especially that we need to get to the quarterback. And overall, without trying to do too much, do it within inside the system. Every game is not going to be perfect. There may be a game we don't have a sack, but we're looking for guys to go eat, guys to be hungry, and guys to make plays.
A pleasant surprise in training camp so far has been running back DJ Dallas. Drafted in the 4th round out of Miami, Dallas is working behind Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson on the depth chart, but has impressed his coaches and his teammates. Carson says he feels like Dallas is part of the family.
Oh, that's my little brother, man. I love that kid. He's just a spark of energy, man. He loves being out there. He loves playing the game. He's a Georgia boy, so he got that dog in him. Man, he's one of those players that you can see the growth from first practice to the last. And I haven't even been out there for that long, you know what I'm saying? And me just being out there for the little time I've been out there, you know what I'm saying, I already see, improvement. And something I like about him is like, if he makes a mistake, he carries that, you know what I'm saying? He carries that heavy, you know what I'm saying? He wants to be somebody that's perfect. He wants to be someone that's reliable. And you can't help but have respect for somebody like that. So I'm excited for him.
Seahawks open the season in Atlanta a week from Sunday. Well, the Mariners are back to baseball tomorrow at T-Mobile Park to play the first of a 4-game series with the Texas Rangers. Texas will give Kyle Cody his first major league start. Seattle has yet to announce its starter for the game. That's first game of the series. First pitch at T-Mobile Park at 6:10 tomorrow, and you can watch it on Root Sports or listen locally on AM 960, or AM 900, that is, ESPN Radio. Well, we'll start our week of sports coming up tonight with Hockey Night here on the NCW Live Channel. We'll air the Wenatchee Wild and Trail Smoke Eaters game from last September 20th. That's tonight at 7 with our good old buddy Arch Ecker on the play-by-play. High school football returns tomorrow night with last year's matchup between Eastmont and Pasco. Bulldogs and Wildcats. Dogs and Cats. Wildcat Stadium, the location. Kickoff our coverage tomorrow at 6:30. Then on Saturday, we'll feature last September's first meeting of Eastmont and Wenatchee and girls soccer at Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. That's at 2 o'clock. Then it's a rebroadcast of Johnson Electric Night at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. That starts at 6. Hey, speaking of the Super Oval, the next race at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval is the Ron Bershauer 100, presented by Jerry's Auto Supply. According to WVSO manager Jeremy Anders, a huge field of pro late models is expected for this race. In addition, they'll have the Shepherd's Oil Wenatchee Legends Cup for Tri-State Legends, Mountain Dew Junior late models, the Bandoleros, and the Plum Perfect Roadrunners. We'll get going with our live coverage a little early on Facebook. We'll start that at 5:30 next Saturday and then join the coverage on TV at 6 o'clock. That's all next Saturday, September 12th. Grant Olson and Greg Rentz will have your play-by-play here on the NCW Live Channel. That's a look at sports news here at 28 minutes past the hour. I know Dan, he looks down here at the time because he's got it on his phone. The clock in this room is actually up over there. So forgive me for looking away for a minute to see what time it is, but I have to do that to see what time it is as we getting through a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Forecast 97 and sunny today. Not much wind to speak of, and that's good news because we're going to be up in the triple digits possibly again tomorrow. 101 is the forecast for Friday, 99 on Saturday, 97 on Sunday. So if you're heading out to the outdoors for your last gasp of summer with Labor Day weekend this weekend, going to be fantastic weather here in eastern Washington. If you like sun and you like heat, just right for you. Currently, we're at 61 and fair skies here in downtown Wenatchee. All right, we had lots of choices on the obscure holiday of the day today. It's National Welsh Rarebit Day, which I have no idea what that is. It's National Skyscraper Day, which we'll talk more about coming up when we get to our birthdays. But I decided to go with U.S. Bowling League Day. That's right. 1830s and 40s, by the way, officials in Connecticut passed a law to ban bowling. Apparently, the excessive gambling associated with the sport made it a threat to public welfare. Bowling at the time consisted of 9 pins, which is what the state outlawed, and they did it outside. They weren't inside for that. As a way to get around this, bowlers added an extra pin, creating the 10-pin game we know today. The new version of the game caught on in New England, though it took a few innovations before bowling caught on with the rest of the country. First, the material used for bowling balls was changed from wood to rubber. Then in the 1950s, automatic pin setter changed the game forever. In the bowling alley where I grew up, Cedar-Woolley, Washington, I think that bowling alley is still there. It'd be a shame if it's not. I believe it is. My dad in the 1950s was a pin setter, and he told me all about it. You stood back behind where the pins were, and as people knocked stuff down, they had kids. He was a kid at the time, hired as a pin setter. So you go put the pins by hand back up, and it was crazy. You'd have to sweep them out of the way and things like that. By the way, our local bowling alley is certainly struggling through the pandemic. Eastmont Lanes, we love Eastmont Lanes. They had a big fundraiser last weekend. They've got a GoFundMe page going on. I think they've up over $6,000 on the GoFundMe. They did pretty well on that yard sale last weekend. Just imagine, you've got all that space. You can't rent shoes. You can't have people go out and bowl. And so now they've got insurance to pay, they got lease to pay, they got loans to pay, they got all that stuff to pay, and nobody to help pay them to help pay that. And so we hope Eastmont Lanes is able to carry through with all of this. Go to GoFundMe and just do a search for Eastmont Lanes, and you'll be able to find that and help, possibly. All right, this day in history is September 3rd, 1783. Treaty of Paris was signed. American Revolution officially comes to an end when the representatives of the United States, Great Britain, Spain, and France signed the Treaty of Paris on September 3rd, 1783. The signing signified America's status as a free nation. You've got to sit up taller when you say that. As Britain formally recognized the independence of its former 13 American colonies, and the boundaries of the new republic were agreed upon. Florida north to Great Lakes and the Atlantic coast west to the Mississippi River. That was all they considered part of the original colonies and of course, the United States. Really, I mean, there's Declaration of Independence, but it's 1783. Treaty of Paris kind of gave us our stripes. So a big day on this day. I remember I was in Mrs. Tobias's class. That must have been 3rd grade, 2nd grade, something like that. And they were talking about this spacecraft landing on Mars. It happened on this date in 1976. The unmanned U.S. spacecraft Viking 2 landed on Mars, taking the first close-up color photos of the planet's surface. Of course, Marvin the Martian was not too happy about us landing on his planet and had some words for Bugs Bunny. And then Warner Brothers took it from there. Not really, but sounded good. Marvin the Martian, one of my favorite cartoon characters of all time, by the way. Birthdays today. We have some dead birthdays and one live birthday. We celebrate the birth of Louis Sullivan today. That goes back to our National Skyscraper Day because Louis Sullivan was an architect and the father of skyscrapers. Ouch. He was born on this date in 1856, passed away in 1926. Skyscrapers? No, thank you. Anything high? No, thank you. I can't do it. I don't know what it is. It's something visceral that happens. My stomach just get queasy. It can even be on TV, and they show you looking over the edge and down. No, I can't do it. What else? Carl David Anderson was born on this date in 1905. Who was Carl David Anderson? Well, ask your physics teacher or your science teacher when you go on your online classes here this week, gang. A Nobel laureate physicist who discovered the positron and the muon. I won't get into what the muon is, but the positron is a subatomic particle with the same mass as an electron and a numerically equal but positive charge. What does that mean? Well, if you have a positron that smashes together with an electron, it's not good. It results in annihilation. Wow, that's an important dude to celebrate his birthday. Also, a guy that's alive, and he might have died several years ago, but somehow he's still around. Charlie Sheen celebrating his 55th birthday today. Of course, actor who played in movies such as Platoon, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Wall Street, Young Guns, 8 Men Out, Major League. He later parlayed his success into playing the role of Charlie, who basically was himself on 2.5 Men on CBS. Then, of course, very public battle with alcohol and drugs and winning and Tiger Blood and all that stuff. Charlie Sheen survived it all, and he is 55 years young today. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. And you could tell us about your birthday too, by the way, or anniversaries, that type of thing. Just get a hold of us through Facebook and be sure and like us and follow us while you're there. 35 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Thursday edition. Coming up a little bit later on, we had a little piece of it in the sports there, but I thought it might be good to put it all together in kind of one conversation, if you will. Got a chance to talk with Bliss Littler, the general manager for the Wenatchee Wild, and this ongoing issue that they have with the fact that their home ice, the Town Toyota Center, has no ice, and that battle of what they're to do when they've got a training camp coming up soon, what the pandemic has meant to the BCHL, and all of that. We'll have more with Bliss Littler coming up later on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll take a break. On the way next will be Mike Magnotti with his opinion, whether you like it or not. It's coming your way right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for joining us.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he's here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice kokanee. Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life Channel.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm a regular churchgoer. Yeah, good for me, right? But sometimes I run into people who used to go to church, but they don't anymore, and I ask them why. And they often say something like this: I had to miss church for 3 weeks in a row and no one called me to see if I was okay. Now, my response to them is, why do you think people go to church? They're specifically looking for you. Sure, it would be nice if we noticed other people or the lack of them more than we care about ourselves, but come on, really. Blaming other people for your deciding not to go to church is kind of lame, don't you think? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
42 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Thursday, this 3rd of September 2020. Filling in for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. Hope you're having a good start to your day so far. Sunny skies, 97 are high today. Going to be 101 possibly tomorrow as we kick off the Labor Day weekend. We're at 61 and beautiful blue skies here in downtown Wenatchee. Earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with Bliss Littler, who's the general manager for the Wenatchee Wild. I talked to Bliss about a month ago. And he was down in Las Vegas. Now, why was he in Las Vegas? Well, they had to have their tryout camp there because of the fact there was no ice here at the Town Toyota Center. So, with the look at what was happening as far as the location of the prospective players, it was easier to do it down in Las Vegas. So that's where they went. Had a chance to talk to him then, and I talked to him this week about the BCHL. Of course, it was shut down for COVID last March, just as the playoffs were set to begin. That was the last time there was ice at the Town Toyota Center. The Wild held their tryout camp in Las Vegas. Littler says 25 players have been invited to Wenatchee. Now, it's just a matter of getting ice for them to play on.
Other than California and Washington, almost all states are open for hockey. USA Hockey has said hockey's returned, but the building we play in here, we don't have ice yet, so we're dealing with trying to get ice in here, and if not, a lot of people in town are traveling to Spokane, traveling to Seattle, traveling to Coeur d'Alene to get on the ice, but we're right now we're just trying to keep our kids, the 25, committed. We like the group we have. We're definitely hoping by the time they get here that we have ice and we're able to practice. The league sent out a press release about a month ago saying we expect to have a regular season to start the first weekend of December.
Now, Littler says there's a lot of frustrated people out there with policies that prevent hockey when there are so many safeguards in place to protect the participants.
The majority of ice users are under 20 years old. For hockey players, they wear equipment that none of their skin is accessible. They wear a face mask, and in the BCHL, we have a new face mask that covers the front of their mouth, their nose, and below, so that nothing, when you're yelling for the puck, nothing's going to get out. The kids are wearing gloves. At that age, again, I'm general manager, been a hockey coach pretty much my whole adult life, and I'm not a doctor, so I guess I can't tell you that. I'm not a politician, but I do tell you that there are a lot of frustrated people that use the town Toyota Center as their entertainment, their exercise, and having to drive over to Spokane or Seattle or Coeur d'Alene it's really frustrating. It's frustrating. It's disappointing, but hopefully that changes in the next couple of weeks.
Now, Littler says that he and Town Toyota Center manager Mark Miller are doing what they can to convince people up the food chain that the safer alternative is to have ice here available locally.
I gotta believe that any doctor in the country would tell you it's more dangerous hopping in your car, driving down the road, than it is for a person under 20 to be really impacted by COVID-19. So that's the frustrating part. Is just seeing these. We have so many people that want to use the building. And, there's figure skaters that aren't using the building right now, and I just think that for the most part, people are pretty smart. That if you have high blood pressure, you have diabetes, you have pneumonia, that you're older, you're not going to go to an ice rink. You're not going to go to public places, and those people aren't the people that are hanging out over at Lowe's or going to Costco. They're people are going to be careful. So again, I just want to get ice back in here, and we're not even talking about how we're going to deal with the Wenatchee Wild with fans, but we certainly hope we're going to get there, by the first part of the year, and we're able to have fans at our games. But I guess first things first, that Mark Miller, myself, I know we're doing what we can to get support and to get the building open.
Of course, Town Toyota Center not open for anything other than they've been doing some food distribution there, but everything else is closed up in that building. That means no ice for the foreseeable future. Now that makes it tough on Littler, who's got those 25 players that are coming in October to start camp. That's not to mention that the other two programs the Wild operates with the younger kids. Littler says with other states being open, the players who committed to come to Wenatchee are being deluged with calls to opt out and go elsewhere.
Well, it's tough because those kids are getting calls every day from teams in other leagues that are telling them that Wenatchee's not going to open up, that the border's never going to open, and it's all doom and gloom. And it's tough. It's tough. We're making sure that we're talking to our kids enough, and you have Zoom calls with them, and just giving them the facts that we have. And with that, I think what's been done here the past 12 years, I really think that reputation, it's out there that this is a very good place to play junior hockey. It's one of the special places. It's just a lot of great people here in Wenatchee, that it's a great place to play. And so I think that's really helping us right now, that all the work that the kids in prior years have done to make this a great place to play is definitely helping us right now, keeping kids interested in making sure that they're gonna wait and not jump at another offer.
Now, Littler wanted to make clear that he's not laying blame on Mark Miller or the TTC about there being no ice. He says instead, well, it's the governor, it's the Safe Start plan, it's the fact Chelan County is still stuck at 1.5 for who knows how much longer, that is preventing them from being able to move forward.
Oh, 100%. Like Mark, if he could have ice in the building, he would have had it in the building 4 months ago. That's one of the things that pays the bills is ice usage. whether it's figure skating or hockey. And again, we're not talking about events that have spectators right now. We're just talking about the very minimal, to help the building out. Where they want to pay their bills too.
Littler says the hope is they can get Chelan County to the next phase of the Safe Start plan so they can get ice down in time for that training camp that begins on October 10th. Now, meantime, the organization is moving forward with its plans for its third annual golf tournament to raise money for Seattle's Children's Hospital.
Well, anyone that's interested, we're playing at Desert Canyon. So a beautiful golf course, nice and challenging. If you have a team, a 4-person team, call the office. If you want to play as a single, and we'll put you in a group. We do that with a lot of people. Yeah, just call the office and ask for David or Gretchen, and they'll get you hooked up for it. But it's something we're looking forward to.
Now, we're putting together a team here from the NCW Life Channel. Hopefully you're getting your team together as well to participate on that Friday, October 2nd for the Wenatchee Wild third annual golf tournament. If you want to sign up as an individual or a team, you can do so by calling the Wild office at 888-7825. That's 888-7825. You can also sign up on their website. Go to ncwlife.com, WenatcheeWildHockey.com, and you should be able to surf around and find their golf tournament and the link to that. And nice to have things kind of somewhat go back to normal, maybe. Day of golf sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Speaking of that opportunity, we have an opportunity, unique opportunity here with the NCW Life Channel with Rob Clark at Desert Canyon. That weekend, we're going to parlay into a little golf getaway for some of the folks here at the NCW Life Channel to go out and enjoy the spacious confines. Does that work? Sure it does. Of Desert Canyon Golf Resort. And we're bringing the cameras. We're going to do a nice feature interview with Rob Clark and talk about Desert Canyon. And I'm hearing from people around the area that there's quite a development going on up at Desert Canyon and around that area. If you drive past Desert Canyon on Highway 97, you see that winery there with that huge waterfall that's coming off of the cliff. It's kind of a distraction as you come down the hill and around the corner as you head up towards Beebe Bridge. So lots of stuff happening up in the Desert Canyon area. We'll find out more about that coming in early October here on the NCW Life Channel. 52 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Thursday. Now, I'm here today, then Grant will be here tomorrow. We won't have a show on Labor Day on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. Grant will be here Tuesday, and then I'll be here for the rest of next week as we get ready for another weekend of racing at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval, talking with Jeremy Anders with the Super Oval. He's the general manager there. Looking at a giant race coming up on a week from Saturday. It's the Ron Bershauer Memorial, sponsored by Jerry's Auto Supply. He already has, I think he said, over 30 of the pro late models signed up for that race. Going to be a bunch of different classes that are racing that weekend as well. The Bandoleros will be there. The Tri-State Legends will be there. They'll have the Plum Perfect Roadrunners as well as the Mountain Dew Junior Late Models as well. So it's going to be a big race. We'll have it live right here on the NCW Life Channel. By the way, if you tried to tune in a couple of weeks ago, we had problems with our van. We thought the whole transmitter had just went. That was it. It was done. Thankfully, it wasn't. It was just if you've ever kind of snuck a peek inside our van, there's a lot of giznology in there, as I like to say. There was one little button that was turned. And we found out that button, if you turn it, doesn't let you do anything. So we turned it back where it's supposed to go. And so Saturday, the 12th of September, so a week from this Saturday, we'll have live coverage of that race, big race at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. In fact, we're going to start things early on Facebook, talking with Jeremy. He says, man, I don't want to bump into our curfew because there's a noise ordinance up there that they can't be going too late because there's a neighborhood right around there. So we're going to start our coverage live with the Pro Late Models qualifying at 5:30 on Facebook, and then we'll be live with the TV coverage at 6 o'clock here on the NCW Life Channel. Just a little sneak peek of what's coming up. 54 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at our weather again here for the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington. Going to be a hot one today with 97 our expected high today. There you see it. 63 the overnight low, thanks to Patriot Plumbing and Heating and Cooling for sponsoring our weather forecast here on the NCW Life Channel. Sunny, hot, high near 97 today. Northwest winds about 6 miles an hour, becoming light and variable. See this? I guess the only good news about this hot forecast is that there's not a lot of wind with it, even though we'll probably see some low humidities. That's when we get that red flag warning, is when the winds kick up. Clear overnight tonight, west winds at 7. We'll see a low of 63. Tomorrow, sunny, hot, high near 101. By the way, the record high for today is 98 degrees. So if we get up there and eclipse that, we'll break a record that was set back in 1988. Extended forecast for the rest of the Labor Day weekend. Saturday, 99 and sunshine, sunny and 97 on Sunday. Labor Day, a little bit cooler, but still sunny and nice with 90 degrees expected on Monday. So hopefully you're going to get out and get a chance to see some great weather and maybe some water and some friends this weekend. Of course, mask up. That's what everybody's telling you. To mask up. Bring your masks with you. Make sure you take care of business. 55 minutes past the hour. Oh, I got to see what's happening here as far as our temperature is concerned. As the sun creeps up higher in the horizon, we've gone up a couple of ticks, 63 degrees with the humidity. I'm sorry, that's a really small print here. 48% relative humidity, so that's actually kind of high. 5 mile per hour winds out of the west. The barometer is holding steady at 30.1 inches of mercury. Megan, let's go ahead and take a look around the Valley View cameras again from Sky-Fi Wireless Network, thanks to LocalTel. As you see this, poster card day. That is, and by the way, we get calls all the time and inquiries from media around the Northwest. We're talking Seattle TV, Spokane TV, National Weather Service. They are always asking us for access to our cameras that we have. We've got, 36, 37 cameras around north central Washington because of sites like this, because they would like to put that on their screen and say, hey, look at Wenatchee. But then again, we kind of want to keep it for ourselves, don't we? In a way. Good morning, Wenatchee. Thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network for the cross-cam view this morning on a rising and shining Wenatchee Valley, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. Now, as far as camera 2 is concerned, get a better look. Oh, you changed up on me, Megan. How about you? Where is this? Chelan Butte? Okay, so that's looking over the Columbia and then up on the Waterville Plateau. Is that what I'm looking at there? Okay. So a little bit of breeze up in Chelan. We saw that when we looked at Chelan earlier this morning. There was a little riffle on the lake, so a little bit of a breeze blowing that camera around this morning. You see a little haze from smoke from fires. There are some fires burning in eastern Washington. There's one in Kittitas County that's causing some problems and such, and there's one down in the Yakima area. Nothing here, thankfully, knock on wood, in north central Washington, but there's our view looking across the Columbia Basin to the mighty Waterville Plateau. Camera 3 will take us to, I have no idea. Oh, Black Mountain. Okay, so it just looks, oh, you tipped it down a little bit. Okay, we can't see the snow-capped peaks there. What is this looking down at the, Dryden, Beshaston area this morning? Leavenworth? Okay, all right. Hello? See if there's any birds in those trees in the foreground. No? It's kind of quiet this morning, kind of quiet. All right, camera 4 is looking at a power line. Oh, that's what I suggested. The jump-off tower. In fact, man, we'll have to watch that for a second here, see if we can see any elk. I was talking about elk up in that area. I didn't know I had such a good view of jump-off how about that? Okay. I'll be up there a couple of weekends. Well, a little bit higher up. I'll be clear over on the Clockham side, but chasing around some wily wapiti with my dad. Anniversary of my mother passing away was this week on Tuesday. And I told Dad, I said, clear your calendar. We're going hunting in the fall. He took care of Mom for 8 years while she had dementia. And I said, we're going to do stuff that you haven't been able to do, including an archery elk hunt. So that's what I'll be doing a week from Saturday. And so forgive me for not being there for Wenatchee Valley Super Oval Racing here on the NCW Life Channel. But Grant will take care of you. In fact, Grant's got news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10. I'll be there with sports. And then Grant will host our Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow morning here on the NCW Life Channel. That's going to wrap it up for this Thursday edition, the 3rd day of September 2020. Have a fantastic day. Hopefully we got it off to a little better start for you. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Have a good one.